Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast. My name is DK Diamantes. His name is Bricky. You know why you're here, but before we get into that, if you enjoyed today's episode and maybe want to support us, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, where you can get access to the Discord, bloopers if they happen. $15 tier gets you access to all of our posters in crispy digital form. You should check it out, patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous. Bricky, talk words.
Talk words. Here come words directly firing at your face hole. Incoming words. Whoa.
Hello. This episode. Oh. Hi. Oh, you got a toy? I'm trying to film an ad right now. This episode of AdRick is sponsored by Raycon and their essential open earbuds. Some of their best features are the open ear design. They have the multi-angular hook. They're super lightweight. They have 36 hours of battery life, which is 8 hours on the earbuds and a 36-hour case. Not to mention they have multi-point connection, which lets you swap devices seamlessly without hassle. It's super nice. In fact, these are actually the earbuds I have given to some of my office workers over at Orchid 8 because it allows them to work in a scenario where they're moving shirts and doing things like that and listening to their music or podcast or whatever they want while still being able to have awareness so they can listen to someone who needs something or anything of that nature. I highly recommend these for anyone who needs awareness of their surroundings and still have great audio quality. The essential open earbuds are great, and you can get them at buyraycon.com/AdRickOpen to get up to 30% off during Raycon's Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video.
I hope they like those words, DK.
That's one way to launch into it. Damn, here's words launching right at your face hole. Open wide, idiot.
Yeah, open wide. Here come the words, baby. Yeah, there's words.
Not sure how to take that.
I don't know. Well, you take it to the face, clearly.
Yeah, that right to the face hole. Open wide, yep.
Yeah. DK, what are your thoughts on snubbed Game of the Year winner of 2024, Balatro?
I like Balatro. I have fun with Balatro. I had a small addictive episode with Balatro. That being said, Astro Boy is just so adorable. Like I'm quite happy it won though.
Okay, you're showing your age a little bit, DK. Astro Boy is the
it's
burger place.
Astro Boy is the critically acclaimed grandfather of anime.
Oh wait, no, I think isn't there an Astro Boy like burger place somewhere?
Isn't that just like oh shoot? Isn't that just like Burger
Big
Boy?
It's Big Boy.
Big
Oh,
Boy.
wait, okay, so there's an Astro Burger in LA, but there's also Big Boy, which is like
right,
is the
iconic
mascot.
statue.
Yes. Okay, my
We've taken a trip
apologies.
this morning, everyone.
We have. We're really going around.
We're on a
the
journey
place.
today.
So, but yes, Astro Bot, which I maintain the statement that a lot of people who were mad that it won Game of the Year who simply had not played Astro Bot because it's quite fun.
So much fun.
That being said, it was not Balatro, which I, myself, Bricky, have a whopping 342 hours in, have 100% completed, and have probably another 60 hours on my iPad due to my flights. I like Balatro.
Yeah. I trust me, I'm aware.
So with all of that stuff going on, I would ask DK, do you think they have Balatro in the 41st millennium?
I mean, I'm sure they have some version of it anyway. Like, there's mass technology. They love gambling. Sure, why not? I'm sure there's some crazy digital game Balatro-esque thing in 40K. Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Well, if there was a little digital Balatro, that would be something to be played on a tiny little cogitator in which the red-robed dude across the way would look at you and get very upset that you dare use the blessed machine for recreational purposes. However, one would say that in the grim darkness of the far future, there are many of ways in which you would want to relax. Take some time off, have some fun. Play a little card game or a board game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the most part, most people relax by fucking.
just like today.
just like today. And it's the reason why the Imperium is a horde army. Because goddamn, can they spit out people?
You gotta replenish the ranks, right?
And people always will like, how does the Imperium replenish their ranks so much? Do they have like cloning vats? Like, no, brother. There's a million worlds and they all be fucking.
I thought you were gonna, how do they replenish their ranks? Well, let me tell you. Orgies.
Indeed. And Shai says, isn't it a fact that people in rural areas fuck a lot? I'm almost positive I remember large amounts of people who are like in like deep middle of nowhere inland empire that are like, yeah, all I do is bang hookers and do crack because there's nothing else to do out here.
That does sound like, yeah, that sounds like the IE, all right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So in the world of Warhammer, most of the time they'd be banging, but sometimes they'll be gaming. And so today we're having a nice little light episode, something a little bit more relaxing. We're talking about games, fun, and merriment.
Merriment. Wow. Also, I'm actually, since we were talking about it, I'm kind of surprised that Balatro and Warhammer have not done a crossover and had like, a Warhammer themed deck for Balatro.
I would pay money to a modder to provide to me this. I would 100% pay money to some kind of artistic whatever modder to allow me to get these things. That being said, yeah, instead they're choosing to make the 900th Vampire Survivor clone.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna buy it. I'm gonna tell you that. Like those Vampire Survivor clones games got me by the balls. I'm right there with you, Shy, but like I'm still gonna shell out for it.
It's like, I don't know, it's like if it would be like if Warhammer made a burger stand. I'd be like, "Really? A burger stand?" And then I would go and then I would buy the burger.
Yeah.
I'm actually very Vampire Survivored out as well. However, I will play it because it's 40K. Yeah, I'm curious about it. That being said, speaking of this is a Vampire Survivor. DK, you gotta play Ball X Pit.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, man. I've been playing that for a while.
Okay, good, because this game rocks.
I also have a lingering addiction to Ball X Pit. Yep, yar. I'm already there, brother. Welcome.
Very good.
Welcome to the club.
Very good, because I have been, unfortunately, Ball X Pit has been grabbing my balls and pit. But anyway, fun games and merriment. So, obviously, in the world of 40K, it's a world where might is right, and it is one of the harshest realities in all of fiction. Minus insert subgenre culture of things someone will definitely tell me about. Now, there seems to be no real break from the everyday terrors, and if you continue to live even a more regular life, you got to find a way to have a little bit of fun. And though there is very limited information and a amazingly large amount of throwaway one-liners, the games and entertainment in the world of the Imperium do have a place. And that can be traditional games, holo entertainment, musical pieces, mandatory feasts. And so we're going to have a little bit of an example of what people do to kick back and like hang out in this world. We did that whole episode on like food. Remember? And it's kind of a similar vibe where it's like, you know what? How is the sausage made for just like hanging out? Things you would read in a guard book and most likely not much else.
Yeah. Or yeah. Definitely a guard book about their I'm gonna go buy the new PlayStation 3492.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, oh man, why is Halo on this one?
Yeah. It's like, oh, Halo, the nonfiction story in 40K.
So obligatory comment on the fact that yes, Warhammer the Imperium has a million worlds, right? Fun as a concept is obvious from the drop, but it's very relative to the planet. Not only is there a sense of the accessibility to it, but it's also the type of fun. Now, you can imagine that entertainment on a night world might be something a little bit closer to like medieval times. Have you been to medieval times, DK?
I used to go to medieval times when I was much younger every goddamn year for my birthday. Love
really?
it. I need to go back at some point just for the nostalgia.
Okay, so I've only been there like twice. And whenever I think of like what does a very traditional American family do for like the family get together, I very often think medieval times.
Oh, I feel like in the 90s and maybe early 2000s, you would be 100% spot on. Now, not so much.
It's you know you're probably right. I remember going there and being like, "Oh, you go here to drink." Like they give you a half of a Costco chicken, and you
Yeah.
drink.
I've never drank there because I was a kid, so I had the, I had a Diet Coke and a big beer stein, but,
Should I mention that in the new Rogue Trader DLC, you go to the feudal world where they ride horses and you hang out at the Ren Fair? Shy, is that that's the Arbites one, right? Because that's where all the servitors are all playing
Yeah.
music, and it's actually really fucked up.
The music, sir. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Th
Am I thinking of 40K that has pleasure worlds, or is that a different faction, or am I thinking of literally a different
uh,
universe?
yes to all of the things you just said.
Great.
They do have that. Now I would obviously state that like so other factions have this too. I'm sure the Emperor's Children have
Mm.
some kind of pleasure world, but
I don't wanna go to an Emperor's Children pleasure world, though. I don't I don't want that one.
it's mainly just a playground for nobility. Which probably
Ah,
means it's an absolute hellscape if you're like one of the concubines, unless you're one of the really good concubines, and then you
mhm.
probably live a slightly better life. But yeah, you know how it is. It's the place for the really really rich to be weird.
Really, really awful.
So obviously there's the night world, and then of course you might find something a bit more urban, like a hive city. Things like fighting pits is a one that's pretty often, but very often, more often than not, entertainment is of course a luxury, and since it's a luxury, it's reserved for the upper crust. Actually, Possum does mention pleasure worlds, of course, but the odds of anyone seeing them outside of top shelf nobility is basically unheard of. Um, like a pleasure world is literally it is a okay, I'm just gonna say it's basically the Epstein Island.
I
Like
see.
it
Gotcha.
is a fancy place that very few people know about that only the highest crust of people go in order to get their fucking kicks in whatever way they would like, and it's not good often.
Right. So this is not a place pleasure worlds, if you're just like a guard soldier or something, you're not going there. Hell, even if you're a space marine, you're probably not going there. Maybe a shady inquisitor or something, or like you said, the nobility, but it's very
I mean,
exclusive.
Space Marine might go there if you've been deployed, but they sure as shit aren't there to bang.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Space marines aren't going anywhere for pleasure other than to war.
To war. But I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe an inquisitor has to go there because of an issue or they need
Mhm.
they gotta find something. But for the most part, it's for planetary governors to go off world, fancy high crust nobility, probably rogue traders,
Yep, yep.
etc.
Mhm.
But so that doesn't mean that all the entertainment and enjoyment is, of course, given to the nobility. It just means that it's often trickled down from the top. And due to the entertainment being a bit of a luxury, it is as well as the arts being a bit of a predatory stomping ground for Slanesh. The obsession of the arts and enjoyment tends to be synonymous with the Prince of Pleasure. So a huge swath of composers and artists are often known for succumbing to the dark gods, or being associated with Fulgrim. So obviously take this with a massive grain of salt. And let's go ahead and specifically talk about the fun and games.
Hell
Um, uh,
yeah.
Also, another quick thing about games in 40K. Obviously, most of the time when they're presented in a story, it is not my dog. Hello, dog. I'm gonna need to close the door. I heard the whip like tail on a golden retriever.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say, I heard that.
so strong, and it just smashes on everything. Okay, hold on. Come on, Miss Mortar. One moment.
How many people remember when I used to have my cat in recordings, people like, "We DK, we can hear the bell." And, "Oh, you gotta take the cat out. You can't let the cat in." And Chad was like, "No, leave it in." And, oh, man, we come full circle.
All right, there we
Full
go.
circle.
But anyway, sorry. So most of the time, when they're presented in a story, it's not a sequence where the people involved are playing a game and having a blast. It's very often not the beach episode of an anime, but they tend to be used in the books as like a narrative way, some kind of like symbolic meaning or an allegory that furthers the plot. And with most cases of arts in 40K, the lack of information is kind of by design, because it's random world. They want to make up some kind of dice game that happens to be played on
Yeah.
Agro World 47B in the Ultimus sector or something, right?
And when you have a million worlds, it stands to reason that, sure, yeah, there's an exclusive game only to this one place that we didn't totally just make up.
Yeah, of course. Like making up swears.
Yep.
It's I always like that because some places do say fuck, but then like the Tanith and the Gaunt's Ghost say feth, and then the dude from Darktide says Karkin.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. Anyway, card games. So one thing that comes out of the gate that's very common in almost all of the books are cards. Now, so we know the significance of the Emperor's Tarot, but that's mainly used as some kind of like, sometimes they use it as a way to describe the future or things like that.
Mhm.
Normally, though, the most commonly used trope in an Imperium novel is to reference some random ass card game to never be explained again.
Of course.
So let's barrel through as many as possible. We have Shonk, which involves multiple players, like much like 5 card Rakus and Sickles, which also implements the usage of dice another way. You've got card games involving gambling, like Emperor's Ante. You've got a gambling game called Darktown Whist, which is featured in Darktide. There is a gameplay with the deck known as the Darktown Tarot, and it appears to be a reference to the real-world game of Whist from the 18th century. You've also got other card games like Knights and Knaves, Hearts and Titans, and Devils and Dames solo. And if you're a part of a noble house, you might play a card game known as Covenants. There are also games that we know are played, but we don't really know what it's all about. Like Dominion Genesis is mentioned, 2 games that are common in mess halls, Dominion Genesis is mentioned as well as 2 games that are common in mess halls called Blind Quarter and Regit, or Rajit, Rajet.
Okay. Oh, Knights and Knaves sounds super familiar. Was that in the book that we read?
Let's see. Knights and Knaves? Maybe it was in Assassinorum Kingmaker? I mean, that's gonna be my
So
assumption.
familiar. Like that immediately that one I was like, damn, there's an itch that's being scratched in my brain. And I don't know if it's just because Knights and Knaves is sort of it's not quite alliteration, but it's close, right? Knights, Knaves, and it's like, ooh, that
Yeah, I
does something
mean,
in my brain.
does an alliteration require the first letter to be the same or the first sound?
I should know, but eh.
Try says she also wants to mention it to shame Possum real quick. She made a joke that my favorite Warhammer card game is Sabacc, Sabacc, and Possum was confused and asked which book it was mentioned in.
Oh, Possum. Oh, Possum.
Very unfortunate.
It's okay, Possum.
Very
okay.
very unfortunate. Even I know about the Star Wars Sabacc.
It's okay, Possum. You get all the other weird references. All right. Missing one, not a big deal.
So we also have board games, and that gets a bit more meta. So outside of card games, we obviously have plenty of board games in the Imperium, and they range from really, truly unique ones and some have a basis in reality. One game that is very much known in the real world that exists in the Imperium to some extent is the ancient game of Go, Go, which is considered to be the oldest board game that is continuously played to this day. The earliest recording of the game Go is from 548 BCE in China. But we also have reference to it in the Horus Heresy novel Scars, which I believe is about the White Scars. Shocking. Pretty sure Jagatai talks about it a little bit. He's like, Regicide is shit. I like Go.
I mean, for White Scars, they would absolutely love a game that's just Go, except most White Scars just jump on their bike and be like, okay.
I do like how the idea that the White Scars like the game Go is because they're fast and not because the cultural significance of like the White Scars nationality works with old BC China.
No.
I mean, they're Mongolian based, but they kind of have a little bit of everything from there, so it's kind of goofy. No, they like Go because Go fast.
Yeah, because Go fast. Obviously, they're White Scars. Like, come on. That's exactly where my brain went. It did not even trickle towards the realm that you mentioned.
There's another board game that has a direct reference to real life, and it's a game played by the Space Wolves known as, oh, Christ, Hin Hinafriful. Holy hell.
Oh, hey, yikes. Oh, man.
Okay, yeah, you read this, okay?
Yeah, well, I think you said it about as well as you could, because I would've maybe gone with Nefatiful, but yeah, that sucks.
Nefatiful. Yeah, I don't know.
It fit. Yeah, that's brutal, brother. That sucks.
It's a two-player game or whatever. It's a gridded board, and the board is known as the Taffel board, which is a reference to a group of ancient Northern European gridded board games that were really popular in like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, etc.
Mhm.
It would be eventually overtaken by chess as a more popular game, but there is a preservation of the Taffel games that are still common like nowadays.
Space
Um,
Wolves playing chess sounds so fucking weird to me.
and they're still like thinkers at times, man.
I don't doubt it, because they're Space Marines, right? And sure, but, like, just the idea of, like, whenever I think of a Space Wolf, I'm just like, "Oh, they're partying, they're drinking their pseudo grog that they made to get themselves drunk and having feasts and playing chess?" It does not enter my brain as a thing that Space Wolves do.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like yes, I guess the actual game you would think they would play is who can piss farthest in the snow.
Yeah, or they would just, like, wrestle or something.
Well, that I can definitely see the wrestling part.
Yeah.
Regardless, one player in Hanif Falafel has white pieces and there's black pieces. The player with the white pieces starts in the middle with a single king surrounded by pawns, and the player with the black surrounds the board. And the objective is simple: the player to kill the black pieces, and the opposite is to kill the king. For the player with the white pieces, it is to have the king successfully escape the onslaught. And it would be no surprise that Lehman Russ was a master of this game and found it pretty easy to win
Yeah,
because you
Primarch.
like that. Yeah, you like that stuff. Speaking of tricky names, the board game of Ulatur, Ullatur, turns out Ulator actually was the board game that was disappeared and turned into Armageddon.
Oh, of
Um,
course, yeah, yep.
it's another pretty common board game. It's a two-player. It involves a board full of hexagonal spaces, which means it's as close to HeroScape as we're ever going to get it. And it has two sets of pieces, known as the Raven, the Crone, the Prince, or sorry, is hexagonal spaces with two separate sets of pieces, and these pieces were the Raven, the Crone, the Prince, the Light Bearer, the Knight, and the King. And the game was created on Terra and spread throughout the Imperium to the point where some planets have totally different variants of it, different pieces, house rules. For
Mhm.
example, a variant of Ulatur is played by the scholars of the Noonreach cluster and use two extra pieces known as the Fiend and the Messenger. And they explicitly state that the player that moves first is at an immediate disadvantage.
Oh, one of those games, okay. And also, I'm just sitting here with bated breath waiting for you to mention the one story where they decided to go super meta and made like, "Oh, yes, they also play Hammer of War 80,000, where you paint your own minis," and I'm just like, "God, what Primarch would be the most skilled at actually playing Warhammer?"
I mean, I'm pretty sure that does somewhat happen in the sense of Perturabo. Because I remember vividly Perturabo being like, Fulgrim, come look at my battle table. And there's a bunch of like little mini titans and stuff. And then Perturabo grabs Fulgrim's head and smashes his face into the titan and says, "Shut the fuck up, you bitch. I hate you. Do what I say." That's the abridged version. That's the
Oh,
fan
hell
that's the
yeah.
fan dub, actually. That's the
All
fan
according
dub.
to Kaycock.
It's about right though.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like it.
But obviously, with all that, you have the most and common and biggest game in the Imperium, which is Regicide. You've
Ah.
definitely heard of Regicide.
I've definitely heard of Regicide. I didn't think it was a game.
Uh, God damn you. Obviously, Regicide, by all accounts, is very similar to chess, and it's viewed as a game that is very simple to learn, but extremely difficult to master. But the more the game is explained, it feels more complex. Or sorry, the more the game is explained, the more complex it feels than chess. It's like this weird combo of like chess and Stratego. give or take.
Yeah.
It's often played by individuals at the bottom of hive cities, all the way to the top of the spires. Officers of the guard play it frequently to hone in on their tactical senses and prowess. It's viewed as a game for generals, often to many. And Regicide is ancient due to its ties to chess, and a variant of it known as Castles is about as old as the Great Crusade itself, further emphasizing how old Regicide is.
Damn.
So each player either picks one of the two colors of pieces, or the pieces are set up and the board is spun to determine who is playing which color. The most common variant of the game includes using hooded pieces, which would act as a different piece until they were revealed or they killed another piece, which is very similar to Stratego.
Damn, Regicide is so much fun.
I don't get it.
And that just sounds it's just a funny thing to say because like it's 40K where like Regicide actually just
Happens all the time.
A lot, all the time. Yeah, and it's like, oh boy, we're gonna go commit Regicide, and it's like the board game, right?
The picture
Right?
of episode 2 Anakin.
Yes. I'm so glad the wavelength is like right there. Love it.
Is Regicide killing a marital person or just a family member in general?
I thought Regicide was like killing like a king.
Regicide. The action of killing a king. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
I think maybe I thought that was the case because very often it's like the younger has killed Regicide.
Yeah.
Like the
sure.
father, like someone, in the family kills the king.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, well, Horus Heresy was literally Regicide.
All the time.
Yeah, like this is it's very common.
I mean, it's a grimdark world full of war, right? Like Regicide is a norm.
Now, so there's other variant known as double Regicide, which as the name suggests, it features two boards that are parallel to each other. One played backwards, using militants as crowning pieces, and the other played long with sentries wild and a freedom to regent up on white squares. Variants that exist also include the implementation of other supplemental things, such as like decks of cards and random stuff like that. Also, speaking of squares, the board to use to play Regicide is actually generally circular with a standard chess-like grid. So it's divided into segments that are made up of nexuses connected by curved lines that form the shape of a board. So the circular board is widely considered to be the classic board, and playing the game without hooded pieces is also considered to be the proper way to play it. Now,
circular board sounds so weird for a game like that.
I think, well, they said that's kind of the chessboard there, but like I also imagine it's because that thing where they spin it.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
And there it is. It exists IRL.
That looks so I mean, it's probably just because like when you think of like a chess-like game, it's like, oh yeah, square board. Obviously, that has to be the norm. And it's like seeing a board like that is just like, what the fuck happened?
It's a bit it kind of throws the brain off a little bit. But
it absolutely does. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Yeah.
Now, if we're onto the pieces of the game, as this is 40K, they literally can't simply be bishop or horse. So they have lots of pieces with different names, like the Cannonade, the Castellan, the Churro, the Citadel, the Divinitarch, the Dragonar, the Emperor, the Empress, the Fortress, the Magister, the Monarch, the Templar, the Tetrarch, and the Warrior. Because
like
they can't. It's fun, but they can't just fucking call it Rook.
Yeah.
Now, there are some specific rules, too. The Primarch is a piece where it has its own player-selected set of moves that are unique, and the Citizen is a disposable piece that fronts the major pieces, protecting them, blocking their movement upon. Also humorous that the Citizen is the one that, like, protects every Primarch's throwaway piece. The only piece that can move a Citizen is the Ecclesiarch, which makes the usage of an ecclesiarchal piece essential for aggressive strategies. So you need the church to whip your citizens into shape to move them around.
The Warhammer social commentary on what the Imperium is like is just like it is palpable. Holy shit.
Nah, DK, the Imperium are the good guys. You don't get it.
Obviously. What am I
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say here. Wow, good job. Yep.
You just don't get the you just don't get the strong social commentary that's present here.
Oh, true, bestie.
So, instead of checkmate, excuse me. The winning position of Regicide is called full mate. The same winning position I had it with your mother.
Damn.
God damn you, possum.
Hey, yo, possum.
Now there are a few scenarios that result in a full mate. When a full mate is achieved in a blindsiding manner, it's referred to as a blind man's mate. A fool's mate is when a player is baited into moving into a position that results in a full mate, and a player that underestimates a trap set up by an opponent and falls into the fallen victim is the old catechin hook.
The catechin hook. I like it.
It's also mentioned above that using an ecclesiarch to move citizens around in a particularly aggressive strategy is used as a strategy involving the ecclesiarch is known as the Trader's Gambit.
I was going to say, I thought that was just called the normal gambit.
The other last board game that's mentioned lacks a name, but it's very familiar due to the fact that it is essentially, as you thought, Warhammer.
Let's go!
I also feel mildly proud because, as Possum states here, the biggest fan of Warhammer in the 40k universe is, of course, Perturabo.
Yeah.
Because in Perturabo, Hammer of Olympia, the Iron Warriors were working on strategies to attack the Hrud, and they essentially set up a game of 40k to suss it out with grand battalions attacking batteries. But the playing of the game showed the Iron Warriors that they were not quite ready for the assault. Because the person who played the Hrud basically was like kind of started beating their ass.
Ooh.
And so Perturabo's usage of the board game would be a fixture on his battle strategies through the Horus Heresy. Where in Angel Exterminatus, he would use it to make a point about his gamer prowess as well. Where the Imperial Palace was under attack in a scenario, he tasked 3 of his warsmiths to play against him. And in the first game, he would play the role of attacker, and he was able to breach defenses and capture it. And then when the scenario shifted and he was a defender, none of the warsmiths could breach his defenses. So naturally, he was the one who got the PvP armor in Final Fantasy XIV, because he's just that much of a gamer.
Wow, Possum made you say a Final Fantasy XIV reference. That's crazy.
No, that was off the dome.
That was off the dome! Damn, really?
Yeah, I know about the whole the really, really terrible armor issue they had with the feast in Final Fantasy. I think they changed it a while ago, but I remember that initially, and like how everyone who had that armor was like a cheater or something like that.
Well, alls I know is the last time I played 14, getting the PvP armor relatively easy, just time consuming. You just have it's not that bad.
MMO life.
Yeah, I'm going back to it soon because they changed the glamour and it's not a big deal. You move on.
I do like the Final Fantasy 14 guy that they added to Magic. Zeman, Zever, Jamin, Zava, the guy who's your best friend.
The guy who's your best friend?
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to kill you. You're my best friend. You made me feel something for the first time. And she's like, chill. FF14 guy who is best friends.
I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but I'm like, Zeven?
The
Our
villain.
best friend guy? Made me feel
FF14 villain MTG card. What the hell? I'm going crazy.
I was like,
there he is. Xenos.
Xena. Oh, okay. No, he is not your
he thinks you're your best friend. That's the first friend. Doesn't matter.
Spoiler, he thinks you're his best friend because you can actually stand toe-to-toe with him in combat, and you actually do kill him.
Yeah, he's crazy. I know that, but
many times. Yeah, that's his whole character trait. He is the simplest character ever. He just wants to fight you.
I know. That's cool.
That's it. That's all.
Also his card rule is really cool. When he transforms, he picks a player, and when that player loses, you win.
That makes sense. Yep, that's very him coded.
So in a 4-person game, he's just like, yeah, you. And when you lose, I win. And then the other two players are like, shit, we kind of got to protect this guy because if
Yeah,
he
we
loses, we lose,
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's
It's really cool. Anyway, during or turning traitor Perturabo specifically would not remove his passion for playing the game. After the invasion of Ultramar, Hansu goes back to Medrungard to seek favor from Perturabo, and upon meeting, Perturabo literally sets a terrain table up and puts out pieces and says that, saying that though it's something that can be done with holograms, it's really fun to return to the fundamentals sometimes.
Also, it kind of sucks that what the hell, GW? You make the HUD playable in universe, but not in the tabletop. That's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know if the Harud are really in that many books outside of the Perturabo one.
Still,
maybe.
give us the HUD.
So, outside of like board games and stuff and other fun types of merriment, you do have holodramas and of course, sports.
Sports, let's go!
Go Dodgers, yeah!
Go Dodgers! Even in the 40th millennium, the Raiders are still having a losing record. Let's go!
Let's go! Who cares? Fuck the Chiefs!
Agreed. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Fuck the Chiefs.
I don't know anything about football. So entertainment obviously is not related just to tabletop games. Not that Games Workshop would know. And media is still around in some capacities for people to enjoy. They like little bits. So long as they enjoy propaganda.
In 40K, it's not propaganda. It's just the truth.
In the Arbides episode, we mentioned holodramas a bit. And this is thanks to the Ciaphas Cain books, which gives us a few really good examples of holo entertainment. The first is a holodrama known as Arbitrator Foreboding, which is presumably a drama-style show like CSI. Its catchphrase is, "The Imperium never sleeps."
Oh, boy.
And Inquisitor Amberly Vale describes the protagonist of the show as someone who hunts aliens, mutants, and heretics with relish and a very big gun.
I mean, as you do.
Ciaphas Cain's actions during the first siege of Perlia result in the creation of another popular holodrama called Cain's Heroes that provided a fictional recounting of the event. And also, due to the name and popularity of the drama, Cain's army in the siege became known as Cain's Heroes.
Okay. Immediately reminded of Hogan's Heroes. Never seen it. It's just that's what the name reminds me of because, you know.
Yeah. Cain did not like the drama because of the creative liberties it took with the combat. And the Cain character in the drama had a love interest, and the show disregarded the actions taken by Ferric Jurgen entirely, which is screwed up, man. That's my boy.
Oh, poor Jurgen. Man, Jurgen, thanks for doing that, but you smell like shit.
Also, thank you for killing the Broodlord with a melt-a-gun.
Yeah. Wish you didn't smell like shit, though.
One other also known holodrama was made about the fighter pilots during the Gothic War and was called Attack Run. Inquisitor Vale was a fan of the show especially, but her inquisitorial savant, Caractus Mott, did not like it. As he specifically stated, he was able to spot 437 historical technical inaccuracies in the first episode alone.
So he's a Redditor.
That's actually that's about it. That or someone on a Warhammer Facebook account.
Yeah. Actually,
it was extreme unactually. These Iron Warriors don't have the correct hazard stripes. Now, the Cain books also give us a brief example of sports in the Imperium. He mentions a game called Scrumball he played when he was in the Schola. It's kind of similar to rugby. He's a big fan of a team called the Harriers.
Ooh.
Kind of neat. Now, he remarks that he was always wanted to have the upper hand on the pitch, but also said that the only team that was able to beat the Commissar Cadets were the novitiates of the Sororitas, who seemed to think the point of the game was saying the greatest number of opponents they could to the sanatorium rather than scoring goals.
Oh, no. They're just dirty. Also, Shai said, wait, Possum didn't mention the funniest one.
Oh?
Shai, what is the funniest one?
There is a little bit more going on here, but there is a humorous moment where Cain mentions, like, later he responded to a cultist yelling blood for the blood god, and he yelled back, Harriers for the cup, and shoots him.
Let's go. You imagine if somebody did that in like a war setting? Blood for the blood god. Chiefs for the Super Bowl.
Do you want to read this?
A romance set on the reputed paradise world of Krieg with the convoluted title, My Wish to Generate Children with You is Only Exceeded by My Devotion to Him. That's crazy.
It's genuinely hysterical, though. Very, very Krieg. I like how it's on the paradise world of Krieg. The paradise world of Krieg.
Yeah. What do Krieg do for fun, eh? Besides just
Kill.
self-loathing. Yeah.
Also, I do like the idea that Cain had his like rugby team, and they were beaten
Yeah.
out by the sister novitiates. Which I
Literally.
find double humorous because it's basically like a bunch of commissars and people in the Schola, fighting like, a full team of girls. But based on his response, who seen the point of the game was to send the Grace Note people to the sanatorium rather than scoring goals. You can assume that the sisters just like went absolutely ballistic on them with like use every dirty trick in the book. My sister tells me this, that like when she was in water polo, when she was in high school and stuff, that girls are like mean. And they like what is under the water, is
All fair
what
game.
it's all fair game. And she would like
Yeah.
get like scratched up and all kinds of shit.
Damn. Savage.
Yeah, so humorous. Also, they have a game called Grasshopper, which is literally just fucking cricket. It's cricket. It's cricket.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right.
Now, if you are a real buff individual, you work out at the library. And obviously, there's lots of literature at the library, but actual physical books are considered to be a luxury, particularly a paper book, which is really not common. If a physical book is around, it's most likely printed on vellum, which is very interesting because vellum is actually what I use for shirts.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that like books are printed on vellum.
Yeah. The parchment is often made from porcine, which is their version of pigs.
Uh-huh.
And so most of the giant parchments you'll find in 40K are written on this substance due to its sturdiness, and it's one of the largest imports to Terra itself by sheer weight. Entire dynasties are built around the production of vellum because the Imperium is a backwater society who needs so much goddamn fucking scrolls and parchment and vellum to write their orders out and send it by carrier pigeon because you can't use a goddamn internet transfer.
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Are all of the Imperium scrolls on vellum? Like, if you look at a space marine and you see like all the what are they? The scrolls of whatever on them? Where that has
the
names and
purity seals.
yeah, the purity seals. God, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I'm assuming that's also vellum, or do they use a special like paper for that?
It's a various kinds of parchment. I mean, for the most part, you would assume that might be some kind of parchment / vellum.
Mhm.
And it could be vellum, but also it would not be surprising if there's like variances depending on which chapter
Yeah,
you're part of and stuff.
sure.
But one would assume like a vellum, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, it's still a bit more of a luxury. So if you're an Imperial citizen, you are more than likely reading it on your data slate. And the most vellum an Imperial citizen may encounter during their entire lives would likely be in the form of a devotional like pamphlet of sorts.
Mhm.
Now, the Imperium is very particular about the preservation of knowledge and storing records, as knowledge repositories are very common, obviously. This can range from the municipal library or an archive to an entire planet dedicated to the storage of records and books known as an archive world, because of course they do.
Yeah.
We also know from a few sources that bookstores do exist on some worlds, as it's a fairly common place of all things considered. You can find lots of things of literature, textbooks about planetary histories or law. You can find some fiction. Inquisitor Gideon Ravenor wrote a well-regarded piece of literature called The Spheres of Longing that stands pretty high up there as essential philosophical work. Here's a little bar they drop from it. How may I ask the Emperor what he owes me, when all I owe is to the Golden Throne, and by duty I will repay.
Oh, wow. What an upstanding citizen. Yeah. Ask
Mhm.
not what you can do for what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Truly, truly. I enjoy the fact that in the philosophy book, it's the answer is to serve.
As it always is, unfortunately.
Kindness is a weakness and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now, another notable work that can be easily found in the early Horus Heresy books is by Remembrancer, our boy, Ignace Carcassy,
Let's go!
called Reflect. It's always so funny we say that because, like, I like Carcassy as a character, but he's such a prick.
Oh, yeah, he's an absolute asshole.
He's so funny, though. But he made one called Reflections and Odes, which that work won Carcassy the Ethiopic laureate and secured his reputation as a significant writer. Later, he disowned the work because he found it as sort of navel-gazing and irrelevant to the galaxy at large. And then and then he was strangled to death.
Yeah. Oh, man. Poor guy. What a life. What a life.
I don't know. I mean, he didn't deserve that, but he was a shit lord.
He was.
I will
he
always
deserved that, but like
I'll always remember him just whatever her name was, being like, Ignis, my eyes are up here. He's like, I know, darling, but this is such a better view.
That's right. Oh.
Yeah. He wasn't a great dude, but he maybe he did deserve to be strangled to death.
Yeah, he was a little lecherous, but like, yeah, probably didn't deserve what he got.
Now, as you can guess, there's an incredible amount of name books throughout the 40K, and it's really hard to find them all. So the funniest ones Possum found was, of course, the Krieg one Shai mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
There's avoiding becoming your own grandfather and other paradoxes that create unnecessary paperwork for the administratum by Inquisitor August Helden the third. What? The seventh?
Man.
What?
Are you are you confusing the 3rd and the 7th, or what?
Inquisitor August Helden IIV.
IIV?
IIV.
Huh.
Not VII and not III. IIV. Maybe you put one more I in there.
I was gonna say that'd be a real convoluted way to do 3, but
yeah, maybe it was only 4 and he accidentally put an I in there.
maybe.
But yeah, avoiding becoming your own grandfather and other paradoxes that create unnecessary paperwork for the administratum about chronal dilation during warp transit.
Yeah, because it's the extra paperwork that makes it a problem. Right?
Well, it was written by Inquisitor August Helden the elder/younger.
Oh no!
So clearly he had a problem.
So he was like Fry in that one episode of Futurama, eh?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yep. Yeah.
There's Dreamer Unsleeping by Ibrahim Isavius Ecto on the life and death of Malkador the Sigillite. And of course, the Guardsman to Scutarius phrase book, which includes low Gothic to binaric translations and phrases you can build up relationships with your Scutari comrades.
Very important, sure.
Now, obviously, you've also got music. These tend to be mostly hymns, as well as battle songs, of course, but there are some that are a little less on the nose. In Darktide, there's a conversation that's accessible between the male arbitrator and the female zealot, where the arbitrator mentions that he plays the grim harpsichord, while the zealot says she plays the accordion. And the arbitrator takes it on a very positive and borderline encouraging manner, which is weird because it's an arbitrator.
Yeah.
On the planet of Tanith, the traditional instrument of the Tanith pipes are not only used for recreation, but are also used to help outsiders traverse the Nullwood forests. As you may remember, the Tanith pipes are basically just a Scottish
bagpipes.
Bagpipe, yeah.
Yeah.
They have some traditional home songs like My Love Waits in the Nullwood Greens or Over the Sky and Far Away and Wild Shrubs Wild, a few examples.
Also, the harpsichord sounds like it fucks.
The harpsichord is a cool name, right?
Yeah, that's so cool. Anyway, yeah, just had to mention that.
There's another historical well-known song called The Ballad of Trooper Thom, which is a folk song from Ultramar. The song is about a dying soldier telling a beautiful nurse how wonderful his homeworld was and how he'd never see it again. So the song had become considered to be in poor taste, though, as it's singing about Calth's former victories before the treachery tore it apart at the Battle of Calth. So instead, you're more likely to hear the operetta The Brothers of Ultramar nowadays instead.
That's fair, especially if you're an Ultramarine. Yeah, you probably don't want to be singing about the glory of Calth. Yeah.
Also, notable old guy Belisarius Call is a big patron of the arts to an extent. He's a fan of the fairly ancient Baroque composer known as Bach, as in B-A-K, Bach?
Not actual Bach, yeah.
No, I mean, it could be Bach, but they're not spelling it like Bach, so it's Bach. It's their Bach.
Mhm.
Bach, Bach. Exactly. In the book Rogel Dorn, the Emperor's Crusader, you have reference to a child composer from the Great Crusade known as Eleanor Herglitax Wessem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
One of their compositions was on a music box, and it lasted for 53 minutes. It was kind of a string arrangement, but it has a few crescendos, a few random instruments in succession, like the Jovian thunder drums and the violatas. And of course, you got the holidays, which is mandatory fun, DK.
Mandatory fun will be had on this day. Think anyone's ever gotten executed for not having fun on a holiday?
I believe you could get executed for walking weird in this world. So
Yeah.
so one of the obviously best examples of fun is the state-sanctioned celebrations, which is mandatory fun because they're state-sanctioned.
Mm.
Obviously, one notable holiday is Emperor's Day, but it's notable for a couple of meta reasons. Around the holidays last year, the Warhammer community page made a post about Emperor's Day that included an authentically recorded Imperial hymn that was written and sung in High Imperial Gothic, known as Never a Silent Night, which is
True. So
very true.
Yeah.
Two very notable feasts in the Imperium are the Feast of the Emperor's Ascension, which I'm pretty sure you've heard, and the Feast of the Primarch's Rebirth. The Emperor's Ascension celebrates the Emperor's transition to the Divine and is traditionally a week-long event of feast games and other events to celebrate him. This also includes sacrifices for the Emperor in a symbolic sense, like
Okay.
like burning books to provide the Emperor knowledge.
Oh, jeez. All right. That's not well, sure.
Uh,
When you said, "Oh yeah, sacrifices to the emperor," I was like, "Oh yeah, the 1,000 psychers a day, not enough."
No, I mean it's like personal sacrifices, like a leg of sorts, I guess.
Yeah.
It's also a very popular time to get married or have children. Though it's
Mhm.
not celebrated everywhere, it's widely regarded as one of the most important holidays in the imperial calendar. And as you can guess, the Feast of the Primarch's Rebirth is actually to celebrate Rebute's return. It
I'm
is
sure he loves that.
yeah, I'm sure he's having I'm sure he's just like, I don't give a shit. I'm too busy doing paperwork.
I'm too busy being utterly depressed at the state of the Imperium when I woke up, you fuckers.
It's traditionally to celebrate this occasion with a fasting and ruthless self-flagellation and a
Oh.
marathon ecclesiarchy a marathon of ecclesiarchy litany sessions. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised. I'm just like, oh man, the starvation and self-flagellation, certainly not in the oh, no, yeah, that tracks. Yep, no, never mind. Let's just move right along. That's normal.
Yeah, fasting, ruthless self-flagellation, and an ecclesiarchal litany sessions are all things that Gilliman really likes. I'm sure of it.
Really? Oh man, he's just yeah.
But obviously, in this scenario, in the meta right reason, it's basically Easter. You know.
Yeah.
Now, most major saints in the Imperium have their own special day of worship, but the Festival of Saints is a day that accounts for all the saints, including some that are too small to have their own unique day. And so, outside of normal saintly celebrations on this day, the Festival of Saints provides Imperial citizens a chance to pitch a potential saint to the ecclesiarchy. Priests deal with massive lines of citizens because virtually everyone knows someone who died in the name of the Emperor, pleading that they know someone worthy of sainthood. However, they really don't ever go anywhere, except for the fact that the last saint that was raised was in the Calixtus sector about 2 centuries prior. The regimental standard provides us with information on Heart Day, which is an ancient Terran custom, which you can read here, DK.
Oh, what is Heart Day, you ask? Historical records show it was a mysterious festival where citizens signaled their compatibility by displaying gifts fashioned after the hearts of powerful foes they had presumably defeated. As brave defenders of the Imperium yourself, we're sure you can relate. In accordance with these customs, we've collected motivational cards from many branches of the glorious Imperial military to represent their willingness to fight and die alongside you. Yay.
There's no distance that can keep me from you. Image of Death Strike missile launcher.
That's good. I like that. That is the Valentine's Day card for sure. Yep.
11 barrels of love pointed
Pointed
at
at
you. Your genetics fall within the upper 5th percentile. Report to my laboratory for examination.
My God, these are so.
Reception of designated goodwill. This kind of reminds me of what is it? Oh crap. Shy, you should know this. What's the Helldivers form you have to sign if you want to fuck?
Oh, yeah. What is it? I forget what it was. Doesn't it like spell out sperm or something too when you like put it all together or something?
A CO1.
Oh,
It's a
so
CO1
close.
form.
Also, I like the reception of designated goodwills. Any soldier found to be in need of goodwill or companionship shall be issued 1 firm handshake from the appropriate Munitorium personnel or servitor in case of unavailability for services rendered in the name of the immortal God Emperor of mankind.
It's a fucking thank you card, but in Imperial
Firm
speak.
handshake, brother.
Firm handshakes all around.
The superpowers handshake with Hogan and Macho Man. That's what I imagine for that one.
And then, of course, lastly, and often something that we've referred to before, is Sanguinala, the most revered day in the imperial calendar as it commemorates the grace, charity, and sacrifice of Sanguinius, as well as the general martyrdom for the emperor.
Best boy Sanguinius.
It was on the blood of martyrs that the Imperium was founded, of course. And outside of references to the name, there's not a whole lot of information on Sanguinala. It's just, hey, this is Christmas.
Yeah.
And very clearly a reference to the Roman feast of Saturnalia, which served as an influence on Christmas itself.
Hell yeah, Sanguinus. Hell yeah. Or Sanguinius.
Sanguinius. Good old Sanguinala, obviously. It's a big one. Also, yeah, of course, you have Grotmas, which is orcs celebrating Christmas.
Yep.
Which obviously there are many minis for Grotmas, and they're all pretty great, honestly. I have a few of them.
Many minis. The fact that you just rattled that off the top of your head is actually quite good.
Many minis. That's how
many minis. Yep. Warhammer 40K. Subtitle: Many minis.
There are many minis of merriment.
many merry miniments.
Merrimincy miniments.
Damn.
Indeed.
We're on that alliteration train now for sures.
And for the most part, that's a lot of the upper level or like random stuff you see in large amounts of games, various card games, board games, and so on. There's a very high chance that there is other random throwaway lines in various other books. I'm sure they've got one where it's like, yes, the guardsman regiment of the Poopeth McFordeth 69th Regiment play Shidden Harbor, which is a board game found to be very funny with the lower ranks.
Yeah, they literally use their own feces.
They throw them at each other, in between games, but for the most part, it's humorous because it reminds me a little bit. Well, of course, it reminds me a little bit of Helldivers because they've got the same, the same satirical fascist kind of styles. But I find it humorous because you've of course got state-sanctioned holidays and sanctioned propaganda that you can watch. And oh crap, what was the name of the Quarian love movie in the Citadel DLC for Mass Effect 3?
I do not remember. The only media spoof thing I remember from Mass Effect is good old Blasto.
Blasto the Hanar.
Oh yeah, love that.
Yeah. Oh god, I forget the name. It's very unfortunate because
genuinely don't remember.
It's super funny. Oh well, actually, you know what? A Quarian romance movie. Let's end this with this little guy.
Oh yeah, end it with end it with a little bit of Adric spinning off into Mass Effect. Let's go.
Fleets and Flotilla.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh, that's as soon as you said that, it came flooding back in. That's fair.
Fleet and Flotilla, and then of course you also have Elcor Hamlet. Naturally.
Yeah. Also, if I don't know why I was like, oh, by the way, BioWare, if you could make Tali romanceable in Mass Effect 1 so I can have her throughout the trilogy, that'd be great. But that's like, hey, can we update chess?
Hey, BioWare, while you're at it, can you put the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer back into the Legendary Edition, you hacks?
Right now,
Like
please?
right now, like
Immediately?
the thing that I spent like 500 hours in because it was actually amazing and had no right to be that good.
I think I probably spent, oh god, I might have spent Warframe time on the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I might have, like, 6,000 fucking hours on that goddamn thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the by the way, Imperial Holiday Cheer is have a happy Sanguinala or else.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you're in the Imperium, you're gonna have a happy Sanguinala, right? You've been so indoctrinated with propaganda at that point that even if Sanguinius wasn't a good best boy, Primarch, whatever, you'd still be brainwashed to enjoy it, right?
I mean, yeah, of course, because how what else are you gonna do?
That's true. What else is there to do? Yeah.
Happy Sanguinala. Oh, a Sanguinala decoration sheet. Fix bayonet, cut out Sanguinius, insert tab into slot. Participation is mandatory. Failure to cut within the line will result in disciplinary action.
Holy shit.
God, it's so funny.
I love it. Oh my god, I love that.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, that's what we got for today.
Hell yeah.
I hope you enjoyed your general merriment. I think it was a good timing because obviously we've got the holidays coming up.
You better
And,
have.
it'll be some good times, and for all the rest of you, enjoy your festivities or else.